Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Now on WRAL, a woman is seriously hurt after she crashed into a construction truck crane in Raleigh. What officials are telling us about what happened.
And I was comfortable grabbing a big jacket heading out the door. The coldest temperatures we've seen all season. Look at that. It's 39 in Roxborough. I'll show you how many more chilly mornings are in our forecast.
Millions of people remain without power this morning, and others return home to the devastation that happened in Florida from Milton. How hundreds of people have been rescued from those historic floodwaters.
Plus, hockey fans in Florida and North Carolina will have a much needed distraction tonight. The Canes and Lightning coaches say even though they're facing off, they are all in this together. What fans can expect during the Canes home opener tonight in Raleigh. Yes, competitors, but on the same team when it comes to facing real hurricanes and recovering from those. Good morning, everyone. It is 4:30. Great to have you with us. I'm Renee Chu.
I'm Jeff Hogan. Great to have you along here. Yeah, what are the chances that each state with a representative team would have
and Milton.
would have matching hurricanes? Unbelievable. Well, Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. And as we hit Friday, boy, a big change here. Things are just real quiet.
And the big story heading out the door this morning is the chilly temperatures. We've dipped into the 30s and 40s this morning for the first time since last April. Our skies are clear. It's beautiful. But again, 46 degrees. Our dew point's way down at 42, so it's nice and dry out there, crisp. Definitely feeling like a crisp fall morning. It's 39 right now in Roxborough, 45 in Goldsboro, 47 Southern Pines, 49 in Fayetteville. So everybody's in the 40s, except up there in Roxborough where it is 39. And temperatures, yes, much colder than yesterday, anywhere from 10 to 15 degrees colder. And it may be a little bit breezy for it today, too. We may see some winds gusting up to around 15. It'll be a very pleasant afternoon. Even though it's a real chilly start this morning, we'll see a high of around 70 degrees. A lot of you may have seen some of the auroras overnight last night. We got some great pictures. I'll share some of those with you coming up.
Elizabeth, thanks. A woman has serious injuries after she crashed into a construction truck crane around 1 o'clock this morning. This is in Raleigh. This video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker shows the damage to her car, and it happened along Blue Ridge Road and Hillsborough Street in southwest Raleigh. Officials tell us she is expected to survive.
Clear sky paved the way for the northern lights to be visible from parts of North Carolina. Many of our viewers sent us pictures like this. The pink purplish sky, the aurora borealis, was last seen here in May. But now, WRAL meteorologist Kat Campbell tells us the northern lights were visible this time because of an active solar storm cycle on the sun.
Sometimes you get what's called a coronal mass ejection, and it's a big area of plasma that just kind of erupts from the sun. And if it's directed at the Earth, that can mess with our magnetic field some.
Messes with it in a beautiful way. Kat also says we are in such an active solar storm cycle, we could get more opportunities in the future to see more northern lights. You can be a WRAL weather watcher. Just show us your best pictures of those northern lights. If you have a photo or video to share with us, you can go to WRAL.com/weatherwatchers, and we may share it on TV or feature it online.
This morning, we are following the devastating news out of Florida after Milton slammed the state. Video like this of the barrier islands shows the widespread damage in places still trying to recover from earlier storms. So here's what we know right now. At least 14 people are confirmed dead due to the storm, including at least 6 in St. Lucie County, where tornadoes touched down right before Milton hit. Around 2.5 million people remain without power in the state. That's according to poweroutage.us. Milton dropped more than 18 inches of rain on St. Petersburg, which represents more than a 1 in 1,000 year rainfall event there.
Hundreds of people who lived in the inland parts of Florida had to be rescued from floodwaters after Milton dumped more than a foot of rain there. Tampa fire officials say they conducted more than 500 rescues, and that includes rescuing 135 people from an assisted living facility. In Polk County, Florida, one woman was forced to leave her home after she and her 4 children were trapped by those floodwaters. And near Clearwater, over 100 residents of an apartment had to be rescued after it was flooded. Many of the neighborhoods that were flooded are miles from the coast and not typically flood prone.
Tonight, hockey fans in Florida and North Carolina will have a bit of a distraction from the recent hurricanes. The Carolina Hurricanes and Tampa Bay Lightning are preparing for their season opener tonight. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey joins us from the Lenovo Center. And Kelsey, the coaches say although the teams are facing off, they are all in this together.
Renee, there's really just a huge sense of unity ahead of tonight's game. Both teams, the Canes and the Lightning, fan bases have both experienced major hurricanes recently, and both teams were on the ice yesterday for practice. This game was originally supposed to be in Tampa, but it was rescheduled due to Hurricane Milton. The Lightning arrived in North Carolina on Monday before the storm. Their coach said most of the team is without power back home, and they still aren't sure about the extent of any damage. This is on the heels of Hurricane Helene and the damage caused by that storm.
We're kind of in this all together, as a hockey community, and I know from our organization and how Carolina does things, we'll be there for everybody as much as we can.
That's the one thing sports is it separates the reality of what's going on in the real world, and you can kind of get away for a couple hours and not think about what's going on.
Wow, and tonight's game will be scheduled for 7 o'clock. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
In just a few hours, part of the Blue Ridge Parkway will reopen in Virginia. It's been closed for the past week and a half because of Helene. The stretch from milepost 0 to milepost 198 in Virginia will reopen at 8 this morning. The rest of the Virginia stretch could be open in the weeks ahead, and it's going to take a while longer for the part in North Carolina. Governor Roy Cooper signed a recovery package into law. State lawmakers unanimously approved a $273 million recovery aid bill for Western North Carolina. It passed quickly through the Republican-controlled legislature and contained much of what Governor Cooper had requested. More funding is expected.
A Wake County man is facing 2 felony charges after officials say he starved an animal to death. The Wake County Sheriff's Office and Animal Control were called to a home near Wendell yesterday. When they got there, they found 3 malnourished dogs, a malnourished cat, and 1 dead dog. They charged 31-year-old Floyd Meeks with 1 count of killing an animal by starvation and another charge for cruelty to animals. The animals were removed from that property.
Today is your last chance to get registered to vote. The November election is just 25 days away. Voter registration forms can be found at County Board of Elections offices. Forms postmarked by today are accepted as valid applications for the upcoming election. The voter registration deadline is officially at 5 p.m. today.
The Team Trump bus tour will be making additional stops in our state today as former President Donald Trump holds a rally in Colorado and another in Nevada. The tour will stop in Lincolnton at the Lincoln County GOP headquarters on East Main Street. That will be at 11 o'clock this morning. Then at 1:30 this afternoon, it'll be stopping at the Iredell County GOP headquarters. That's on North Center Street in Statesville. Former Secretary of Homeland Security Chad Wolf, California's former lieutenant governor and a former chief of staff for the Department of Defense, will be on that tour. You'll need to register for tickets on the Trump campaign website.
Vice President Kamala Harris held a rally in Phoenix, Arizona yesterday as early voting gets underway there. Harris is on a campaign swing in the western part of the country, hoping to win over Hispanic voters. She talked about the economy and reproductive rights, but avoided talk about the border. Harris said that she remains in close contact with federal, state, and local authorities in the wake of Hurricanes Helene and Milton.
Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson will campaign in Wilmington this weekend. Robinson plans to meet with voters in that community, beginning with a meet and greet at Carolina Barbecue on South College Road at 3:30 today. He'll then travel to Wrightsville Beach for a fundraising dinner. Robinson will stay in the area through the weekend with more community events planned in Wilmington on Sunday.
Breaking news, a man is dead after he was shot at a sports bar in Fayetteville. This happened at Big Apple Restaurants and Sports Pub on Yadkin Road. Police say it happened just after 1:30 this morning. They have not yet released the man's name. WRAL's Destiny Patterson is on the way to the scene right now. An equipment malfunction in a Colorado tourist mine led to dozens of people being trapped 1,000 feet below the surface. What we know about this scary situation that left some people stranded for 6 hours.
And a police chief at an arboretum outside of Asheville was attacked by a bear during Helene cleanup. Why that bear was agitated so much she attacked.
And we'll give you a live look at Raleigh this morning. Grab those jackets because we are off to a chilly start. The coldest morning of the season so far. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner has a look at the weekend's slightly warmer temperatures.
From the WRAL Severe Weather Center, North Carolina's most experienced team of meteorologists.
It is 4:43, and the big story this morning is the chilly temperatures. We're down to 46 in Durham right now, 46 in Raleigh, and 49 in Fayetteville. Temperatures are 10 to 15 degrees colder than they were this time yesterday. It's a pretty morning out there. Our skies are clear. The sun comes up. We're going to see a really pretty sunrise out there, but definitely feeling a fall chill as you head out the door. Lots of sunshine, 45 degrees. Our winds are calm right now, but it'll be a little bit breezy this afternoon. We're going to see winds not quite as gusty as yesterday. Yesterday at noon, we were gusting to 30. Today, probably around this morning, gusting to maybe 10 to 15. Walking the dog this morning, you may be happy grabbing the jacket. It's going to be a gorgeous afternoon, 70 degrees. We'll take a look at the forecast for tailgating for the Canes home opener coming up.
One person died, 23 others had to be rescued after they were trapped in a Colorado mine 1,000 feet below the Earth's surface. It happened just outside Colorado Springs. The elevator in the tourist attraction had a mechanical issue. 11 people were rescued yesterday afternoon, but 12 others were trapped for about 6 hours before they could get to the surface. 2 of those rescued were children. 4 people had minor injuries. The cause of the accident is under investigation.
Families in Stuart, Florida are returning home after a tornado tore through their community on Wednesday night. At this mobile home park, you can see buildings torn apart, roofing and fencing lying scattered across the ground. One family says in the 50 years they've lived there, they've never experienced anything as destructive as Milton. Although they're sad about the loss of property, they say they are thankful to have their lives.
Plans are in the works to repair the damage from Helene to an iconic place on the North Carolina-South Carolina border, Pretty Place Chapel. It's at YMCA Greenville. It hosts more than 500 weddings and attracts more than 300,000 visitors each year. The storm ripped off part of the roof over the chapel and damaged benches that need to be replaced now. YMCA president says they cannot safely hold weddings or other events until that roof is repaired. 162 weddings were planned through the rest of the year, including 94 this month.
The police chief at the UNC system-owned Arboretum outside Asheville was attacked by a bear during Helene cleanup. This is video of the area before Helene hit. The attack happened over the weekend when the chief went to check on the property and came upon the bear. The bear was agitated because his habitat had been damaged, and he charged toward her.
She was attacked by a bear and came this close to losing her life. Now, she, good mountain gal, she knew how to deal with the situation. I salute her strength and courage.
And Peter Hahn says that once she is better, he plans to go visit her personally.
What an ordeal. We have an update on when colleges will get back up and running in Western North Carolina. App State will start next Wednesday. UNC Asheville starting virtual classes on the 28th, and then will stay virtual for the rest of this semester. Lee's McRae is staying virtual for now as well. It's not clear when that campus will reopen. Western Carolina will start classes on the 21st. A little bit of a early fall break for a lot of those kids, for sure. Elizabeth Gardner is over in the WRF Severe Weather Center right now. Fall in the air.
It really is. You know, we've waited for this for quite some time, and it is here when you step out the door this morning. This is a live look at downtown Raleigh, past the North Carolina Museum of Natural Sciences. Our skies are clear this morning. It is 46 degrees. That is chilly. I was real happy to have my jacket this morning when I stepped outside. Our dew point is nice and low, so it's a crisp feel this morning. And even though we'll be chilly this morning, temperatures will warm up pretty quickly and we'll see a high this afternoon right around 70 degrees. A few 30s out there on the map. 37 in Roxborough. That's the only one so far, but I wouldn't be surprised. Say Henderson sitting at 40 right now. Roanoke Rapids at 43. We tend to see the coldest temperature in the 7 o'clock hour, so we still have a good ways to go. A couple more hours for these temperatures to drop even farther. Looking at Sadler City right now at 40 degrees. Oh, there we go. There's Sanford at 39. Southern Pines at 47, 46 in Irwin, 45 in Smithfield. So everybody's chilly this morning. We take a look at the treat that we saw last night. I started to see friends texting me and social media really lighting up, pardon the pun, with these gorgeous northern lights. Bob Poteet sent us this from Lake Gaston. I mean, what a fantastic place to be able to catch the northern lights or the auroras last night. I tried so hard in my neighborhood, but we have so many trees and so much light that I couldn't see them. So I'm loving seeing all these photos. We love your Weather Watcher photos. Go to WRAL.com, search Weather Watchers. And, we saw this in May. And honestly, I grew up in Raleigh. I can't remember a time when we've been able to see the northern lights, and we've been able to see them twice this year. So it's a very active pattern on the surface of the sun right now. And so we might have that opportunity again, maybe this winter. Our winds are pretty quiet this morning. We're looking at winds about 5 to 8 miles per hour. And we may see some gusts this afternoon up to around 15. So a little bit breezy for us today, but not as windy as it was yesterday. We'll see a high of 70 in Raleigh, 69 in Durham, and 72 degrees in Fayetteville. So nice day today with lots of sunshine. Looking at a chilly night overnight tonight, not maybe quite as cold as what we're seeing this morning, but only by a few degrees, still going to be in the 40s. And of course, this morning, that 45 degrees that we're seeing is the coolest that we've seen since April 23rd. Our normal low is 53, and we'll see temperatures warming up a little bit over the weekend and early next week. But then we're back to a colder pattern. We're going to see colder temperatures. Look at that, 63 for Tuesday, and we're going to see the overnight lows really cooling off as well. Look at this, 63 Tuesday, 61 Wednesday, some 40s, 41 on Thursday night. I'll show you how close we are to our normal first freeze, at least statistically, coming up.
Well, how far we've come in such a short time. Thanks, Elizabeth. New video into our newsroom shows the rescue of a man clinging to a cooler in the ocean. What led to his rescue 30 miles off the coast?
And if you hadn't bought your tickets yet for Concert for Carolina in Charlotte, you will have another chance to see a show that benefits the people in the mountains. The newly announced concert happening soon to help with Helene relief.
The generosity of those sending relief supplies to Western North Carolina is starting to become overwhelming. WRAL's Gilbert Bays talked to some people who are gathering relief supplies for what's going to be a very long recovery.
The outpouring of giving to Hurricane Helene victims continues. This 18-wheeler is packed with goods collected by friends from Harnett County. It's ready to be shipped to Western North Carolina. But organizers of groups that are collecting these goods in the mountains say not so fast.
As you can see right here, you got Huggies, you've got bleach, you've got diapers.
Harnett County Sheriff Wayne Coates is helping to coordinate supplies being shipped to Western North Carolina. The Friends of Harnett County have been on a mission ever since Hurricane Helene ripped through the mountains. They have two 18-wheelers packed with supplies, but the sheriff says they're delaying the shipment. He's talked with the Avery County Sheriff, who is grateful for the supplies, especially coats and warm clothing. But he says it's coming in faster than they can get it out.
And they are inundated with everything right now, and they're not turning anything down, but they know they've got to live like this for six months to a year.
The Wake County Emergency Management agrees. They say the last thing anyone should do is pack supplies and rush to the mountains.
Delivering donations to locations that aren't expecting them can actually overwhelm staff and slow down distribution of critically needed supplies. You might also be supplying resources they already have plenty of and miss out on providing items survivors need.
Relief organizers say, remember, recovery from a disaster isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. In Harnett County, Gilbert Bays, WRAL News.
New video is capturing the moment a man was rescued after hanging onto a cooler 30 miles off the Florida coast. The Coast Guard rescued the man just south of Tampa Bay yesterday afternoon. The man had taken his boat out for repairs early Wednesday morning. Officials say they were in touch with him until they lost contact Wednesday night when his boat became disabled. The man was taken to Tampa General Hospital for medical care.
Not surprisingly, tickets for a big concert for Helene survivors are sold out, with the exception, though, of platinum charity tickets. The platinum level tier, that costs $2,000. Sheryl Crow, Keith Urban, and Bailey Zimmerman have joined this lineup. Concert for Carolina in Charlotte. They'll be joining Luke Combs, Eric Church, Billy Strings, and James Taylor. The concert will happen at Bank of America Stadium October 26th, and all proceeds will be going toward the relief effort.
Another benefit concert for Western North Carolina is happening here in Raleigh. WRAL is proud to be the media sponsor for Music for the Mountains. And the show will be at Red Hat Amphitheater Sunday, October 27th, starting at 6 p.m. Old Crow Medicine Show is the headliner. All ticket proceeds go to the Community Foundation of Western North Carolina, and tickets go on sale this morning at 10. Tune in to Fox 50 at 9:30 this morning, where we will release the full lineup.
New York Yankees and the Mets both punched their tickets to the League Championship Series. Could be a Subway Series. Who knows? The Mets beat out Philadelphia Phillies after a sixth-inning grand slam by Francisco Lindor. They'll play the winner now of tonight's matchup against San Diego Padres and Los Angeles Dodgers on Sunday. That game will be. Yankees won over the Kansas City Royals. On Monday, the Yanks will face off against the winner of Saturday's matchup between the Detroit Tigers and Cleveland Guardians as they settle their series.
Coming up at 5, the northern lights colored the skies in North Carolina overnight. We'll explain the reason that we were able to see them.